Talking with Topher. This is episode 295. It's Thanksgiving, everybody. So happy Thanksgiving. Of course, it is also November 27th, 2025. Of course, I'm so happy, and I'm happy for all of you too. We're still here. We're alive. I hope you are enjoying the Thanksgiving feast, whatever you choose to eat. I personally would like the ham and pineapple and I don't know, turkey, a little dry most of the time, but give me some cranberry sauce and gravy and ham and pineapple, and I'm pretty happy with things. So I like that Thanksgiving meal more. But before anything else gets said today, let me start off the way I always do by saying thank you. Thank you to all of my subscribers. Let's go to 6,000. Come on, everybody. Doing such a great job out of there. Remember to share, rate, and click the bell for every episode that pops up throughout the week. All shorts, thumbnails, everything. If you are new, popping by or checking it out, hit the subscribe button, everybody. All right, that's going to help get us to 6,000 subscribers, man. This is wild, and as always, I'm just so thankful for everything. If you would like your opportunity to be a guest or tell your story, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. That is the official email of the podcast, so go ahead and send it audio, video, or type it out. Linktree is in the description below the video, along with all links discussed on this podcast today. So go there, check them out, and do your own research. Don't forget to check out the mailbox guys, and of course, Cryptid and Kin. All right, well, with all that long-toothed housekeeping out of the way, let's get into today's pod. Everybody, what's happening? It only took 25 years to forget? That's what's happening in New York right now? Do we not remember what happened? Or are we just that convinced that they didn't do it, that now we're going to elect Muslims into our, well, New York's new mayor, right? Isn't that what he is? He's the new mayor. He's going to give you all this stuff for free. You guys are retarded, right? You guys, I don't know how else to say it. Did you actually think you were going to get anything for free? I heard within 3 hours of him being elected, he sent a mass text message / email out letting them know that everybody who supported him, he still needs your help. Donate today to get all of your free stuff. Congratulations. So you're either fully convinced that 9/11 was done by our government and was never created or accomplished by the Muslims, and you believe that we were never supposed to be over in Iran or Iraq having wars, and you truthfully believe that they are all good people. This is the weirdest thing ever, because if we do believe that the Muslims took out the Twin Towers, then why are you now electing one to run your city, right? I think this is a very strong message today. This is a very scary world we are in, and right now, Britain is really going through it. So if you want to see the future of America today, take a look, man. Take a look. This is wild. So the Britain of today, no, I'm sorry. The sacrifice was not worth the result that it is now. And what I'm going to do is I have a little bit more context right here. And what I have is a hero's regret. 100-year-old British World War II veteran Alec Pistone laminated the current state of the United Kingdom, saying the country is less free now than when he fought for it in the war. That right there is a very strong message coming from somebody who fought for this country, for the world, right? Because this was World War II, and fought for world freedom. And now we are starting to see a takeover of Sharia law. And they are seeing it more and more in the UK, Britain, Europe, England. I think they're all the same. They're all the same to me. All right. I am that stupid white guy that like has no idea what is actually how it's actually broken up over there. And I mean, at the end of the day, do I really need to anyways? But all of this is happening right in front of our faces. It's already being duplicated here in the United States. And we brought this up many times on this podcast. It's going to be coming up even more today. This is where we need to be. I believe that if people saw this, maybe they would have second guessed themselves at the polls. Listen to this, man. This is insane.
Meet Zohran Mamdani's intern, Francis Hamid.
What is your name?
In October 2023, she was caught ripping down posters of hostages held by Hamas.
You are not allowed to post anything.
Hamid canvassed for Mamdani with Hunter YDSA, a student group at Hunter College that backs his socialist agenda. In August 2022, Hamid attended a rally led by pro-Hamas group Within Our Lifetime and the terror-designated organization Samadoun, carrying a Samadoun poster. She has also supported Within Our Lifetime on social media. Now, she's headed to City Hall. This fall, she'll work in a mayoral or city agency, possibly the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs or Asylum Seeker Operations. Hamid isn't Mamdani's only extremist intern. Hadika Malik, who worked for Mamdani in 2024, promotes Jihad and harasses the police.
Officers! The badges of the pigs! To the Mohammed! Put some respect on that name!
And the true believer knows that none of this is in vain, that this is all jihad.
Zohran Mamdani is cultivating the next wave of radicalized city leaders. If he wins, these are the people who will run New York City.
Now, I have no idea if that was an actual campaign message, if that was an actual commercial. I have no idea, but it should have been. So congratulations. Those are the people that are going to be running your city now. This is crazy, man. What are we doing to our American way of life? Where is it going? How is this freedom? And so what I'm gathering from this is she's anti-Palestinian, and she was, tearing down the hostages because she doesn't feel like they're hostages or something. I don't know. The whole religion part of it, I get a little confused on, and I think most of us should be confused at this point because what is happening? Why is this shift happening? Why is this getting... Are people really, I don't know, is it that easy to manipulate the population today? Is it real? It must be, right? It must be that easy to manipulate all the people on the phones, because I don't understand as an American why you would vote for something that is going to take away American citizens' rights. This is, yes, I get it. It's not all of them. But if it's the ones that are in power that can change or manipulate our laws, that's the problem. Like, everybody always says, well, it's not all of them. It's not these ones. It's not these. I'm not talking about citizens, everybody. I'm never talking about citizens. I'm talking about the people in control, the people that you're electing, the people that you are putting into power because you think you're going to get free, shiny shit, and these people are going to take away more and more of your rights. If they implement Sharia law in New York City, which you know they've already broken down the barrier, right? Because the noise ordinance, well, they bypassed the noise ordinance, and now you get to hear the ringing of the bells or whatever the fucking alarm is that they get to blast off so that they can, pray, which I'm not against. But everybody has a cell phone. We don't need this blasted throughout the city, right? On the big horn. We don't need that. Just like we don't need Sharia law. That is not American. So let's continue. What else is happening? This is insane, dude. I barely can believe that this is the way things are going right now. It's so difficult for me. Because I don't know. Is the younger generation so lost that they actually do believe that this is going to be the better world? I mean, it's just so scary to me. So, final New York City mayoral general election. He's saying he's never once spoken in support of global jihad. Dude, this video paints a different picture. I will tell you that much right now.
Never, not once, spoken in support of global jihad.
You did not condemn the phrase. Now, just so folks understand, it's a phrase that many people hear as a call to violence against Jews. There's been a lot of attention on this issue, so I want to give you an opportunity to respond here and now. Do you condemn that phrase, globalize the Intifada?
That's not language that I use.
Well, quickly, for the people who care about the language and who feel really concerned by that phrase, why not just condemn it?
My concern is to start to walk down the line of language and making clear what language I believe is permissible or impermissible.
So maybe you didn't mean to be saying it's open season against all Jews all over the world, but that's what I hear. So do you have any response to that? And also, if you were mayor, would you visit Israel?
I think that question's been asked
Yeah, just
a number of times.
Right,
yeah,
but just
pretty much every week.
But just the response.
Yeah. I've heard the comments from Mr. Lander, and ultimately, this is something that I have heard from a number of New Yorkers.
Youth believe that Hamas should lay down their weapons and leave the leadership in Gaza.
I believe that any future here in New York City is one that we have to make sure that's affordable for all.
A young girl by the name of Fatima, who picked up her father's pager in an act of love and lost her life.
We need to recognize the suicide bomber first and foremost as a category of soldier.
So, man, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that, yeah, he definitely. So, are they trying to say he is a supporter of Israel, or are they saying he's not an Israel supporter? I mean, he's still a Muslim, and he still believes in Sharia law, and he has people on his campaign and within his organization that believe the same, obviously. So that's why she was ripping down those hostages, you know? So, you know, I believe that when politicians make you believe in the thing that you want to believe in them for, they got you. It's a game. It's happens every election. Happens with all the candidates. They all lie to us constantly. This guy just had the best lie, because there's no way that he's going to change the way he's thinking. And you know there's somebody else pulling on his strings. We already know this. There is not one politician out there that receives money from a PAC or any donators where the donators or the PACs don't have a say. So just like a couple of weeks ago when I said corporations that allow people to pay in money and dictate what they're allowed to put on and off of their platforms is wrong. Well, guess what? These PACs that these people receive, these donations, are also wrong. It's never going to change. Nothing I say or anybody else says is going to change this. This is the way it will be until we perish because it's the way they want it. Everything is the way they want it, and they want it to be going in this direction. Why? Because this direction fits their narrative way better than anything else right now. How much easier is it to control a population of X amount of people than implementing these type of laws, restrictions on travel, driving? It just allows the 15-minute cities to come on in. Now you have no reason to go anywhere. You have no reason to do anything. You don't have to leave. We're just going to keep you all right here. You know, we just have to keep having natural disasters in these specific areas so that we can build these 15-minute cities to keep all of the residents that will be left behind after we try and annihilate you all again. Virus after virus. Like, this is just planned out. It's all planned out. This is all part of their plan. And this guy is no better than the rest of them. And he is definitely going to let you down. Now, this I found interesting because this is, I think his name is Zohran and Mamdani's. And this is his father. America is the root of all evil. And it was inspiration for the Nazis. Hitler learned genocide from Abraham Lincoln. I'm sure Zohran loves America, though. Nice job, New York City. Look, this is insane. This is insane. First of all, Hitler did not learn genocide from Abraham Lincoln, okay? Because Abraham Lincoln did not slaughter all the Native Americans. He definitely had his hand in it, for sure, but we were slaughtering way before then. So that genocide happened a long time before Abraham Lincoln. Hold on. Were all the Native Americans slaughtered during Abraham Lincoln, or did it happen before?
Most of the violence and displacement of Native Americans happened before Abraham Lincoln's presidency.
You know, so don't think of it as like Abraham Lincoln took out all the Native Americans. That's crazy to think about because it happened long before him. Unfortunately, at that time, things that were looked upon, that are looked upon negatively today, were still in motion and they were still a thing and they were still trying to figure it out, which is why Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. Remember that too. So there's no way Hitler learned genocide from Abraham Lincoln. That is just insane.
What Hitler realized. Second thing Hitler realized is that you don't have to have a common citizenship. You can differentiate between people. The Nuremberg laws were patterned after American laws. Anyway, the US put Indians in reservations. The US invented the model. America is the genesis of what we call settler colonialism. And the American model was exported all around the world. Abraham Lincoln generalized the solution of reservations. They herded American Indians into separate territories. For the Nazis, this was the inspiration. Hitler realized two things. That's what Hitler realized. Second thing Hitler realized is that you don't have to have a common citizenship.
So I mean, this is really, really difficult for me. I cannot believe we're in this right now. This is happening. This is reality, everybody. I just can't believe anybody voted for this guy. I can't believe you voted for this. I think New York is a goner. I agree with almost all of these comments. This is crazy. Islamists in New York City saying they will bring about another October 7th. What the fuck does this even mean, everybody? So you're going to blow up something and take people hostage within New York? I'm not sure why they want to bring about another October 7th. This is crazy to me. What is happening, everybody? Can anybody else enlighten me on where the world is going? Because how is this happening today? How is it happening?
Not done! We must show up! We must show up! Stronger than we did the first October 7th! Louder than we did the first October 7th! Make it clear that we are not going anywhere! We will keep fighting! Until Palestine is free! Until Palestine is free! From the river to the sea! Within our lifetime! Make some noise!
Is this the new America? Is this our future? Because I really, really am worried that this is like more than what I'm looking at. Something else is going on here, and I have to give it up to Yacht for sending that truck down to New York City and just being like, yeah, you can come to New Hampshire. Really, really put us on the map, dude. She put a pin on us, and like it is just gone national news that Yacht is like telling all New Yorkers, come on up to New Hampshire. I mean, I would not want to be in New York right now. I would not want to. No, I think this is going to be a terrible, terrible thing. I think I don't even know what could actually happen if New York does all the things that they're talking about. I mean, look at what they want to do in New York City. This is crazy, everybody. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life.
Hiding. We're done. We're done being tortured and hurt and judged. This is the correct religion. This is the religion that all of humanity needs to be upon, of Islam. And we will not stop until it enters every home. So I want you to repeat after me. I want to hear it in every single district. It should tremble. Brooklyn should hear it. The Bronx should hear it. Queens should hear it. Say it as if the Ummah depends on this, my brothers and sisters. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadan Rasulullah. There is no God worthy of worship except Allah, the God of Jesus, the God of Moses, the God of Abraham, and the God of the last and final prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam.
Does that not scare anybody else out there? These are sick people. These are very, very sick people. Anybody who thinks that everybody should be believing in the same religion, and I don't care what religion you are, because they all want you to believe this way. I think you're all terribly, terribly, mentally fucking sick. I think you all need to have checkups. I think you all need to be talking to somebody. You all need to find something else to do. This is a waste of time. It's a waste of energy, and to try and make everybody across America believe in something is insane. So therefore, I say all these people are mentally ill and insane and need to be either locked up or talked to. This is crazy town. And New York is in the middle of it, and you all voted for it. Wow. So I think that makes all of New York mentally ill. And they should, I don't know, just send a truckload of therapists, because they need therapists in every single house. This is not going to go well. Look at this. Instagram deleted this, and I'm going to share it with all of you before it goes away. This is fucking sick, dude. This is crazy. It's insane.
Don't
to
say
me.
that Islam is here to live, to coexist with lots of different religions and all of us can just hold hands and be friends. This religion was sent to dominate the world. It was sent to be superior, to extinguish the light of every other religion and to be superior to it. But we're not shy to say it, and we don't find that to be something that we should be shy to say. That this religion has been sent to dominate, to wipe out, to take out every other religion, to eclipse it, to be superior to it, to have the people leave every religion and to accept Islam. And if that requires fighting to achieve it, then it requires fighting to achieve it. Because the greatest purpose for which jihad was legislated is to make the word of Allah the highest and the word of those who disbelieve the lowest.
Dude, this is so wrong. No. I think all people that push any religion on anybody, y'all have some problems. You got to find something better to do. Religion does not save us all. It doesn't matter. I told you, when you die, everything that you think is going to happen, it's not going to happen. I am one of those people that believes that once the lights get turned off, it's over. And it should be, because I'm tired, and I don't want to do anything else. I don't need to go anywhere else. I don't care where my soul goes. Don't care. As long as I don't have to pay taxes, work, or do any of this bullshit anymore, it's good enough for me. So, I don't know what it's going to take to see more people think this way. You know? Religion has been shoved down our throats since I was born. You literally get splashed and drowned, almost drowned into it. And I am talking about baptism. I think all religion is fucking stupid. And I think anybody who really, really feels the way that this gentleman felt in this video feels, I think you all need some serious, serious help. Wow, man. I don't know. We're really getting into a dark time, I think. Now, supposedly there's going to be a new tax for all of you. Check this out. You ready to pay some more taxes?
Jizya tax that non-Muslims will have to pay a tax. Yep. I would say, do you agree with that? Like if someone doesn't want to follow the religion, they have to pay a tax?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, what's the issue? Well, what's the issue with that? What's the issue? I don't want to be a Muslim. Let's answer the question. You don't have to be a Muslim. Just pay your 2% tax.
Well, but I don't want to pay a tax just because I'm not Muslim.
So you stop in the UK. Just stop paying your taxes and see what happens to you.
Yeah, it's not because I'm not Muslim, though. Everybody pays taxes here.
Yeah, and we as Muslims, we pay zakah. Zakah is charity. You as a Muslim, you don't pay that. So this is why you have to pay. And by the way, you pay taxes because you're under our protection, right? If the country was to go to war, right, you would not join the army. We would have to defend you. This is why you pay the jizya tax. It's called a protection tax. So if the country was to be invaded, you wouldn't fight. You would just be chilling in your house and we would fight. This is why the jizya is in place.
I have never heard of this. I don't know what a jizya tax is. All I know is that, so all these people are now mafiosos, right? So there's going to be a tax implemented on the people that live in the UK that if you do not want to be Muslim, you have to pay this 2% tax. This is the stuff that they can put into law. Why? Because you elected them. I did not elect them. I will never elect them. No, because I look into the candidates to see whether or not, they're going to do at least something for Americans. You got to pay attention to the people that you are voting in, but no one ever does. You just listen for the clickbait. You see the quick hot headlines, and they do it all just before voting to sway you. Have you not figured out how not to be fooled today? You do have to pay attention. You do have to use your common sense. But if you would have to pay a tax because you're not Muslim, because these guys are going to protect you, what? We pay the yeah. So basically, your religion has a basket, and you guys give them money. And now you're asking an entire country to pay a 2% tax to who? Who does the tax go to? So not only on top of all the taxes that you pay, which is, I mean, some states, 48% of your paycheck, now you have to pay another 2%. That's 50% of your paycheck. 2% of it. Where's that going? Does it go to the Muslims? For what? For our protection, they say. So these guys are mafioso. So you don't pay your tax, they come and smash your windows. What is happening today, everybody? Are we not seeing this? What? How blind is everybody? Really? So this is a warning to everybody in the United States of America.
This is a warning to everybody in the United States of America, and I hope you're listening up very clearly. Islam is knocking at the door. And when Islam knocks on the door, they knock with a suicide vest strapped to them, all right? You are talking about jihad. You are talking about people taking over our government who are Muslims and believe 100% in the doctrine of Islam, which is Sharia law, it is jihad, it is taqiyya, it is every horrible thing you imagine. These people do not worship our God. They do not respect our constitution. These people walk around a black box in Mecca and yell Allahu Akbar, which is a call to war. It is a call to war. They're not here to assimilate. They're here to take over. Omar Fateh in Minneapolis, he almost won that election. He may win that election. It's still early. We don't know. Zohran Mamdani, who is a complete Islamist, he won his election in New York, and he won it pretty resoundingly. The Democrat lieutenant governor of Virginia, we didn't even talk about her. Nobody even knew where she was coming out of. She is a Muslim who wears a hijab. This woman is the lieutenant governor of the state of Virginia. It is getting worse and worse and worse. You have school board candidates up and down, Muslims. City council candidates up and down, Muslims. Muslims are coming into your government. And when they get to the government, they are not fighting for the American people. They are fighting for the Muslim people. They are fighting for their own interests. Look at the United Kingdom. If you don't believe me, look at the United Kingdom, who elected a Muslim mayor in London and elected Muslims all throughout the country. They are being replaced systematically. The British people are no longer living a good life in their own country. The Muslims are taking over. They're implementing their Sharia courts. They're implementing their Sharia law. And slowly, slowly, the United Kingdom is dying. It is dying. United States of America. Let this be a warning. Let last night be a warning. These Muslims are winning elections. The Democrats are allowing the Muslims to walk right through the door. They got a suicide vest strapped onto them. It's only a matter of time till somebody walks into the Capitol and blows that place up with a suicide vest, and it won't be a terrorist. It'll be an elected congressperson elected by a community of Muslims somewhere in the United States of America. Islam is the problem. Islam is not compatible with the United States of America. Islam is not compatible with the United States Constitution. Stop this scourge before it gets out of control. And let me tell you, we're getting very, very close to the point of no return. It's not good.
I think we're already there, everybody. I mean, could you think of anything more clearly said than that right now? I don't even think I can say anything else. This is the message today, everybody. This is the message. What are you doing? Why are you not paying attention? Pull your fucking head out of the sand. Everybody. What are we doing to our country? What are the Democrats allowing this to happen? And why do you actually think you're going to get anything for fucking free, you morons? Nothing in this country is fucking free. Nothing will ever be free. We pay for everything. That guy was never going to help you. That's why he asked for your donations. And I think this guy is speaking complete and absolute honesty and clearly when he says, be careful. This is going to happen here. I showed you the amount of Muslims and Islams and Jihads and everybody in the UK weeks ago. This was a soft warning. This is the hard warning. This is happening. Why? Because they offered free stuff? Free healthcare? Not going to happen. Whatever else he offered you is not going to happen. That is going to take forever to figure out. We are all in for a really, really rude awakening because, man, the amount of people that just voted this person in because of free stuff, you guys really thought that something was going to happen. It will. It's just not going to be what you thought you voted for. Tell you that much right now, man. They are good at dangling those carrots in front of you guys, huh? Anything for free, huh? It's really, really sad. And like I said, Islam is the problem. That gentleman just said Islam is the problem. So here we go. Let's find out why this is such a problem.
Start going, where did Islam come from? Actually, you can go a layer deeper. All right, so in Galatians 1, the Apostle Paul warns the Galatians. Remember, the Bible says that Satan will masquerade as an angel of light. The Apostle Paul warns the Galatians in Galatians 1:8. He says, but even if we, or an angel from heaven, should preach a gospel other than the one we preach to you, let them be under God's curse. So Paul is literally telling people, hey, watch out, because there's going to be angels that look like angels of light that come and they reveal false gospels, other demonic religions. Don't listen. It's going to be a curse, okay? Well, then you fast forward to 610 AD. Dude named Muhammad wanders into a cave, and guess what he says? He's like, man, it's real weird. I was in this cave, and an angel of light appeared to me and started revealing to me a new path to God. Everybody else got it wrong. It's literally the fulfillment of Galatians 1:8. An angel from heaven preached to him a different gospel, and that angel supposedly revealed to him the message of the Quran. That's exactly the fulfillment of the demonic warning from Galatians 1:8. So then, bro, you fast forward even more. This stuff gets, whenever you're talking eschatology, you're making your best biblically informed guess. So that's what I'm doing right here. It is interesting to me that in Revelation 20, it says there's gonna be a whole bunch of Christians, and it doesn't say killed, it says beheaded. There is one religion in the history of the world that has gloried specifically in beheading as this form of execution of infidels in there, and it's Islam. Now I'll do one more. Jesus, in John 16:2, he's talking about the end times, towards the end of history. I'm gonna read you exactly what he says. The time is coming when whoever kills you, talking to his disciples, will think he is offering service to God. Secularism is not the final threat. The final boss that will face Christians before the return of Christ is not atheism, it's not secularism. That says it will be another religion who they think that killing Christians, killing the people of God, is actually a service to their God. Wow. And that is exactly what Islam has historically prescribed.
It's exactly what they prescribed. Dude, this gets really twisted. They're the ones that we can't be listening to because they keep telling us that these people are wrong and you should dislike them and these people need to die and this and that for this God. I don't need a religion to believe in God. I don't need a religion to believe in something bigger than myself. All you need is the belief in it. I think we can do this without the religion, and I think pushing back on the religion is where we need to be today. Religion has no place in state. Religion has no place in democracy. Religion has no place in government. Everybody. It has no place there. And we need to separate God and state in America, I don't care about the rest of the fucking world. In America, it needs to be done. It needs to be done immediately. Because I believe only then, if we could separate God and state again, permanently, then we could stop them from pushing their message onto all of us before it's too late. But I guess as long as they keep offering you free stuff, they're going to get voted in, right? So I think this helps explain the way I feel about the church, everybody. I think this really does help. I think today we need to look into other things. We need to not be so constricted by these things that have been put in front of us. And I think we are still capable of thinking for ourselves. But this kind of sums up the whole church thing for me.
Are church people sometimes the meanest people? Well, really simply, it's because the spirit of religion is the most demonic spirit out there. You see, Jesus did not come on the scene and then start putting the prostitutes and tax collectors on blast. He put the religious people on blast. Why? Because the one sin that's the most poisonous in this world is the sin of religious pride.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only sin Jesus flipped tables over. He got so mad that people were elevating customs and traditions and money above the least of these. So why are religious people sometimes the meanest people? Because they're operating under the spirit of religion. And religion is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that like religion in and of itself. I think the debate of is it relationship, is it religion? It's both. But the spirit of religion is one that elevates the things that you do for God over the people of God. And that is not of God. And so the reason why sometimes you feel hatred towards the people that are the most spiritual is because in the kingdom of God, they're not the most spiritual. In fact, they're the ones that Jesus continually addresses head on and says, repent, you're missing it. And here's the thing. If you have had that religious trauma, that spiritual trauma, you know that it's the worst. It's the most sinister. It cuts to your soul deepest. And I just want to speak over you right now in the name of Jesus that was not God. Those were his people who are wounded and broken, and you need to have the same mindset to say, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do, and release them of the weight. And realize that God is God. That was a person. And they may have represented God really poorly, but they are not God. And if you need help getting over this, I have a full ministry of Christian coaches that would love to support you. Click the link in my bio so you can have someone to come alongside you that's a trusted person to help you walk in the kingdom of God and to walk in the freedom that Christ wants to give. Not the
Yeah, well, I mean, you can do that if you want to. Obviously, his link will be in the description below the video. Again, I just think that, we need to... I don't think we need a specific way. I don't know. I'm still not with it, I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but I do believe we need to stop believing these super, super religious people because they are not in the faith of God, because they are putting everything else above that. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. This is the problem I have. These people are sick. The thing that they are pushing is not the thing that we are supposed to be paying attention to. It's not the God that we are supposed to be looking up to and asking for advice and forgiveness and praying to and all this other shit. It's a religion. It's a church. It's an actual thing. Or it's a person. And it's like, no, that's a human. That's not a God. God does not speak through him. He is not more righteous or religious than the next one. And if they are saying that they are, then they're not. And I kind of look at this the same way as my professor once told me a story about somebody getting their black belt. And they were a brown belt at the time. They're trying and trying. And all they kept doing was like, I'm crushing people. I should have my black belt, blah, 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 And their professor looked at them and said, I'm not giving it to you. I'm not giving it to you because you're missing the point. It's not about you getting your black belt because you are crushing people. It's about you getting your black belt because you can do what you can do. and you can do more, and you can work with people, and you can teach, and you can, like, there's so many other things that are attached from going brown to black, even purple to brown, blue to purple, white to blue. There are certain things, certain moments in time, some things that you finally learn that bring you to that place, right? It brings you to the next belt. And if you are just asking for it, then you're not worthy of it, right? Because if you're expecting it or you think you deserve something, that's kind of the people that are, super religious, and you need to believe in them. Well, no, I don't want that. I should never feel forced into anything, and you should never expect anyone to just give you something because you think you deserve it, right? And that's what these people are offering. They're offering what you think you deserve, which is the curtain, right? That's the curtain. The curtain is the empty promises. You have to look beyond that curtain and see that those promises are empty. And I think that's what's being missed, because everybody's looking for instant gratification. And on social media and on the internet, it happens quite often. So I guess people are expecting the same thing to happen in reality. But reality's reality, everybody. Social media is fictitious. It's fake. And you can't tell me it's not fake, because 90% of the people that use it use filters, change themselves. That's fake. So why would I believe fake over reality? I guess the bigger question is why do the majority of people out there believe in fake and they can't see reality? All right, so I talked about last week, right? We had that hurricane. Jamaica was getting hit. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. This message here is from 2023. This is the Jamaican Prime Minister. You're never going to believe this, everybody. Or maybe you're on the same page that I'm on, and you do. Because this is exactly what I thought it was.
In the coming weeks and days, I'll be making certain announcements regarding the acceleration of Jamaica's intention to become a fully digital society. We are well on our way to this. We have established the National Identification System. We have put in place our digital currency. We have given directions to our ministries to digitalize their operations. Most of our ministries are now moving from paper-based systems to digital systems. Our military is transitioning. The society is moving.
I'm just going to stop it real quick, because if you are not watching the video, the whole time that this prime minister is speaking, they're showing his video of him speaking. Underneath, they showed a picture of New Jamaica, and everything that is underneath that you can see moving, if you are watching, that is what happened to the area that he is speaking of, that New Jamaica was supposed to be going on, that is now completely devastated.
Very quickly, very rapidly, to become digital. Our banking consumers are seeing it as well, because the banks are moving very rapidly to digital. You have something now called artificial intelligence. Very soon, this position of a human being exchanging cash and so on, that is going to disappear from the banking system very soon. And you are going to have to interface with machines. I don't want it to be a scary thought, but it is a thought that we all have to embrace.
So there you go. There you go, man. We're controlling weather. We're sending the biggest hurricane ever caught on record over to Jamaica for something that they put in place in 2023, and they said they needed to do it rapidly. Well, I think leveling an entire area where you want to put a 15-minute city in, well, I guess you did it in record time, didn't you? In under 2 years. So how long? Oh, 2030 is expected when that city should be getting, somewhere. So by 2030, there'll be something in this area that people will start moving into, which is the start of a 15-minute city. And that is, I believe, 1 out of like 15 that have been, let's just say, that have had the land cleared for them. So, man, this is tough, man. Because you don't want this to be, I don't want it to be true, but we know that they have endless amounts of way to control the weather. And this is how, when you control the weather, you control the world. Because you destroy parts of the world, but then you have the solution of a 15-minute city. I told you, the people that cause the problems are the problem. They're not the helpers. They're not having solutions. The only reason they have a solution is because they created the problem. Now, did anybody notice that 90% of the internet went away? I don't know. I thought this was kind of funny. Google just killed 90% of all internet. Did you hear about it? Let's check it out.
Internet just vanished and nobody's talking about it.
Vanished? What are you talking about, Peter?
Here's the story. When you search something on Google, you used to see up to 100 results per page. But now, you'll only see 10 because Google quietly removed the num equals 100 parameter and collapsed the 200-page view down to just 10.
But nobody actually reads those pages after 10.
Those deep pages weren't for humans. They were for tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and every SEO crawler used those deeper layers to understand the long tail of the internet.
So now, AI is just learning from the same top 10 corporate websites everyone sees?
Pretty much. The internet's diversity just got flattened. It's like training every AI model on the same handful of headlines, while ignoring the independent voices that make the web worth reading.
That's brutal. But why would Google do that? Doesn't it hurt their own data too?
Google says it's about efficiency, but the truth is deeper. Limiting results per page throttles mass scrapers, rank trackers, and competing AI crawlers. It keeps the data flow under Google's control. Fewer requests, less free crawling, and more dependence on their APIs.
So it's not just about search UX, it's a data control move?
Exactly. And the ripple effects are massive. Reddit impressions dropped, SEO tools started missing rankings, and even analytics dashboards are showing fake traffic drops because they can't see past page 10 anymore.
So if I run a small brand or a blog, my content basically disappears from both Google and the AI bots?
That's the scary part. Small sites rely on those deep pages for organic discovery. Without them, it's like running a store where the highway entrance is closed, you exist, but nobody finds you.
Damn. That's not an SEO problem anymore. That's a supply chain failure for information.
Exactly. Google used to distribute discovery, now it owns the pipeline. The flow of information to AI shrank by 90% overnight, and most people haven't even noticed.
So, what's the fix? How do creators or startups survive this blackout?
You build your own distribution. Newsletters, communities, APIs, and direct feeds, channels you control. The future will automate distribution, but until then, owning your reach is survival.
So the internet didn't die, it just got fenced off, and now you have to climb the fence yourself.
Exactly. The web isn't smaller. Access to it is. The future belongs to whoever builds their own gate, not whoever waits for Google to open theirs.
So if this is remotely true, which I do stand behind, there was, I want to say almost a year or two ago, there was, when AI first started coming out, there was a bunch of creators that were having a problem with YouTube, Google, and a few other things where all of their information was being suppressed. And I did bring it up on here. I didn't understand it as much as I do today, but it is blockading all small traffic. They've been cutting them off for a long time now. Giant creators that were doing really well were getting suppressed and getting no clicks, and it was because of the way that Google had redesigned everything. And it's now being talked about even more with AI growing even further and them making the fence even larger. So this has been happening for a couple years now, and it is getting more restrictive, and it's becoming harder and harder as individuals to grow on the internet. And the reason I bring this up is because this is the way they want it, everybody. They literally don't want us to be able to do anything. You wait and you see. I don't want to wait and see, but you're allowing it all to happen. You're even voting the people in that are going to help close off the gates, build the fences and the walls around all of us. Why is it? Dude, I mean, let's really, really ask the question, right? You look at Iran, you look at Israel, you look at Iraq, you look at all those places. And what does almost every red-blooded American say about those places? They're third world countries, right? They don't know what they're doing. So why are you voting them in to American government? Do you not think we're going to get the same results that they already have over there? I mean, this is wild. If you thought something different was going to happen, aren't you the exact definition of insane? Now, did you know that Irish people were the first slaves? I had no idea. This has been brought to my attention multiple times now, and I do have to say this was the best narrated for it. So, here, let's check this out.
Irish people were the first slaves in America, and almost no one talks about it. They were torn from their homes in Ireland, chained like animals, and sold for less than African slaves. In the 1600s, they were branded as white cargo. Over 300,000 were shipped to the Caribbean and American colonies. They worked under a sun that didn't care what color their skin was, on brutal sugar plantations where disease, beatings, and starvation killed many. Their graves went unmarked, their names forgotten. Some were crammed into coffin ships, packed below deck like freight, never to see Ireland again. Even the word redneck traces back to the Irish, their necks burned raw in the Caribbean heat. But while others were eventually freed, remembered, or repaid, the Irish got nothing. History was rewritten. They were renamed indentured servants to bury the truth. No reparations, no monuments, no mention in classrooms. Because pain has no color and truth has no side. And until that truth is spoken out loud, the silence will keep erasing them all over again.
That's crazy, dude. So Irish were slaves before black people. I mean, dude, if you look at history in itself, right? All of it. The one written by the losers, the winners, all of the history. You start to see a bigger picture where literally every single race on this planet has been enslaved. All of us. Doesn't matter what lineage you have. If you look up the world, not America, everybody, get your head out of the sand. The world. There are so many slaves today, and every single race has been enslaved at one moment in time across our entire timeline. None of us are unscathed from this dark history. But the fact that we only focus on particular ones is the true story, because the rest are just being hidden from us. Because why? Because the truth is we were all enslaved at one point. Every single one of us has history of people being enslaved within our bloodlines. Run out killed, slaughtered. So it's just something that happens over time. The problem I have with it is that we are told to ignore everything except for what they tell us. And that is supposed to be the truth. But if blacks weren't the first ones that were enslaved, then they were just another race that somebody decided maybe worked better than the Irish or worked better than the Northern Europeans or whatever. You know, there's a reason why they kept changing, right? Maybe some, you know, there was, everything's based off of money. So maybe the Irish got too expensive to trade. I don't know. There could have been a price difference. We weren't there. We don't know. All I do know is I've never heard of this. And when I looked into my own past and my own history and my 21andMe, was it 21andMe? 23andMe? That one went under, right? I use Ancestry. That's it. When I looked into my ancestry, even Northern Europeans were enslaved. So, you know, Scottish, which I'm part of, you know, they got Norwegian. So all of them had slaves at one point. So I'm not saying that the slaves that were freed by Abraham Lincoln and the fact that, you know, separating black and white was wrong. And I'm not saying that their enslavement was anything less than anybody else's. What I'm saying is they weren't the only ones. But they're the only ones we focus on. Why is that? Why is that? There's a reason for it, everybody. There's a reason for suppressing all of this and only focusing on one thing. I'm not sure what that reason is, but there's always a reason behind it. This is wild, everybody. This is Deep Robotics. This is an all-weather robot. So it is sitting outside in the woods. There's leaves. It's a DRO2 all-weather droid. And they're showing it outside in the rocks in the forest because this thing can go through all weather. So I do believe they're going to show it walking around. Now it's getting water just poured all over it. It's pretty crazy, man. A lot of these robots, this is one of the things that I was wondering when it was going to happen. Now it's just sitting there out in the rain, you know. So it can take water. It can take rain. It can be outside in the elements, and none of its gears or anything are going to seize up. There's going to be no problem with this thing just sitting out in the woods. So again, another step in the humanoid direction, which worries me. Dude, if they can be out in the weather and they can just roam around and, dude, you can't hide from these things anymore. At least, you know, I think the robot dogs, I'm not sure if they did outside perimeters, so they were probably waterproof at some point. So, I mean, at the end of the day, when these things can go all over the place and weather doesn't interrupt any of their functions, I just think we're in more trouble than they're letting us off to believe because, I mean, that means they can be anywhere at any time. It doesn't matter. Hiding anywhere. And the same goes for, you know, all the reptilians, dude. The shapeshifters and the elites that are hiding their true identities. And Taylor Swift, resemblance to Zeena Schreck, former high priestess of the Church of Satan. Very interesting. We're having fun. This is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, Swifties, calm down. But check this out. She does resemble this person. It's very interesting. So there's music in the video. Can't play it, so I'm going to read the caption real quick. Taylor Swift's uncanny resemblance to Zeena Schreck, former high priestess of the Church of Satan. So this is her right here. I'll pause the video so you can actually see them side by side, man. I mean, the resemblance is uncanny. Now, of course, I'm not one of those people that can really say whether or not, you know, the facial features are the same. But I mean, just looking at it, it is pretty uncanny how close she looks to this person. So if this is the high priestess of the Church of Satan, then what are we saying? That Taylor Swift has been alive for a long time, right? This is one of those things that keeps coming up. I honestly don't know if these people, I just think people want to believe in all these ghosts and goblins and monsters and vampires and shapeshifters. I just think it's a little bit too much. I don't know. I have a hard time with ghosts and demons and goblins and all this other shit. I mean, monsters mostly. I think the angel thing could be relatively true. We'll see what happens at that river that dried up where they're hearing all those noises. But could Taylor Swift be the former high priestess of the Church of Satan in disguise? And now she is just bringing all of her Swifties with her. Well, then, can you at least overpower the Muslims and stop them? Let's use the Church of Satan against the Church of Muslims. Let's do that. So this video here I wanted to play for you. You can actually see the woman's neck. It is doing something very interesting, which could be something. I don't know if it's an actual reptilian, everybody. I will have to say real quick that I got a message on episode 292. When you click on the episode and watch it, in blue for Wikipedia is reptilian humanoid. Now, during that episode, I did mention a civilization that worshipped reptiles. And then in another segment, I mentioned something about some humanoids that were coming out, I believe. And somehow, YouTube's algorithm came up with reptilian humanoid and put a Wikipedia underneath the channel. Very interesting. Not sure what a reptilian humanoid is. Obviously, YouTube knows something I don't. But I did find that to be very interesting. Now, this here is two reporters. One of them is from Massachusetts. The lady in the suit jacket is from Massachusetts, and her neck is doing something very interesting while she's speaking. I'll kind of point it out for you. She's asking her a couple quick questions, and now you can actually see her neck. Look at her neck. What is it doing? It's like moving outward. And you can actually see it. And they're pointing to it in the video. And then she's going to start talking. And you can look at, I mean, unless she's got some crazy, crazy neck muscles, what is going on inside? I'd be at the doctor's, dude, after watching myself on camera. I'd be like, what is my neck doing? I have to go to the doctor's. And, man, it just looks crazy on her neck. That was her again with her hijab on, covering her neck, because why? Because she's a reptilian shapeshifter, or she has something really wrong with her throat and should go see a doctor. I'm not sure which, but I will lean more towards she needs to go see a doctor immediately. This right here goes over the simple fact that we have control over tornadoes. Now, how could we not? Because there is something going on with tornadoes that has been looked at, but I don't know if it's been talked about like this. So let's take a look at why we believe tornadoes and all weather is really controlled by our government or anybody in power. Watch this, everybody. This is wild to me.
But why does tornadoes never hit banks? It never hit prisons, military bases, police stations, or casinos. But somehow, they always find neighborhoods, homes, schools, especially the ones full of kids. You think that's by chance? By coincidence? No, that's targeting. Remember what I say here is for entertainment purpose only. So why is this happening? You're watching engineered weather in real time. Tornadoes don't spin blindly. They're guided because man stopped predicting weather a long time ago and started controlling it. Need proof? Project Cumulus. Look it up. The UK literally seeded clouds to cause rain. That was in the 1950s. During the Cold War, the US openly studied hurricane steering and rain-making weapons. Then suddenly, silence. And now we have HARP, radar fog control, and classified tech. Yet somehow, these deadly storms always skip the money and hit the poor, always spare the system and crush the people. Ask yourself, what's more effective than a bomb? A storm, one that kills children, wipes homes, breaks spirits, and no one's blamed. If elite buildings are untouched, maybe they're shielded. Maybe they're using tech we're not even allowed to whisper about. They say act of God, but what if it's an act of government? Wake up, this isn't weather, this is warfare with clouds for cover.
And yes, of course, this is always for entertainment purposes only. But if you don't believe in weather control, I'm sorry for you. Because there's no way in hell that we are not controlling the weather today. There's no way in hell that these hurricanes and all these natural disasters and these earthquakes and everything that's going on today that hasn't happened in over 100 years keeps happening today because, well, you know, it's 100 years past, so it's supposed to, right? No, it's supposed to happen because they're telling us it's supposed to happen. So is it supposed to happen? I don't think so. Children raised in a satanic cult reveal what they've witnessed. This is interesting to me because cults are very creepy. They do exist. And what does happen when people have kids and in a cult, right? I'm sure it's not good. And I'm sure that they've seen some stuff that they shouldn't. But let's take a listen to these kids.
It's with Papa. The first time when we had done it, we had feared so much.
When you did what?
When we killed the baby, first time. And
you killed the babies?
Yes.
You yourself?
With Papa. Papa holding my hand. He helped me. But he told me to cut the baby's head off. But he forced me to. I couldn't.
He held your hand?
He held my hand. Yes.
Like what? Show me.
So this is my hand on the knife. He put his big hand on, and he pushed my hand and then cut off the head. Like that. And then when we got older, we got more used to it. But then we understood that when my mom found out about it, she told me that it's wrong to do this kind of stuff. So then me and Gabriel had still been used to it, but then we had understood that it's wrong.
And so, what your decision is?
And then our decision, we had still a lot of fear in our head. But then when we read a book called June, it said that fear is the mind killer. So when we heard that, we thought that it was true. It was not really true. But then after, there was a man called Abraham who came to help us. He said that it is true, that fear is the mind killer. And then after, he said we had to face our fear. So then after we faced our fear...
Look in the camera. Camera is here.
And then we after...
Camera is here.
And then after we faced our fear.
So what you decided?
And we decided that we should stop. Or then
come, Gabriel, come closer to Alice.
Look, I'm not saying this is true. I'm not saying that any of this happened. I'm just saying, man, this is crazy. These kids don't just say these things. I'm sorry. Like, there's not many children under the age of 13 that just lie on the regular. Most of the time, they have a hard time not saying the truth. So, do I believe these kids chopped off another baby's head? I mean, I haven't heard anything that says it's not true. cults are weird, man. You can't say that this doesn't happen in a cult because we've all seen things that happen in cults. So this is just creepy and kind of sad, you know? You're doing this to children? What a wild, wild situation to be growing up in. Now, this is more for me, and then kind of, I hope it helps a few of the people out there. I actually think my wife sent this to me at one point in time because I've been trying to deal with my anger and understand myself and my OCD, and literally, you know, if I have something on a shelf and it's moved 3-4 inches, whatever, I lose my shit, man. I've got some issues, but I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, I'm autistic. Like, maybe you need to figure something else out for yourself. But I do have some issues, and temper and anger have been, you know, fleeting. It's been difficult for me. And so it is possible that this is why.
You often lose your temper over small things, feel like you're constantly on edge, or get emotionally overwhelmed and angry when things don't go as planned. Psychology has an explanation. It's not simply because you have a bad temper. It's likely because you've been through a lot of pain and disappointment. Over time, you've learned to use anger as a way to protect yourself. There's a psychological term called alexithymia, which describes a common personality trait, especially among our parents' generation. People with alexithymia struggle to process and express emotions in a healthy way. Their emotional reactions tend to be extreme. Even when their intentions are good, they find it difficult to have calm, constructive conversations. Their words often come out harsh and angry, and the closer the relationship, the worse their attitude may seem. Yet with strangers, they can appear calm, polite, even dependable. From a psychological perspective, this behavior often stems from how they were raised. They may have experienced neglect or harsh treatment, which shaped an unhealthy way of relating to those closest to them. This is different from narcissism, where someone intentionally hurts others out of selfishness. With alexithymia, anger is more of an automatic response. It's not intentional, it's just the only way they know how to communicate. If you grew up in this kind of environment, if your parents were like this...
And that's me down to a T, everybody. But also, he is right. You know, I was brought up in a household, and I'm not saying it was wrong or bad, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm not mad at it today. You know, I just turned 46 2 days ago, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody, our parents just did the best they could, right? My dad did the best he could. He worked hard. He came home. He drank. There was anger. There was fighting. There was all kinds of stuff. He had to get through his issues. Him and my mom had issues, but they're still together today, right? There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. There was ways that he tried to deal with me that didn't work. And there was ways that he dealt with me that did work. But I did get yelled at a shit ton. I was told to, you know, get in the corner. I was told I was grounded in my room more than I was allowed out in the summer. Like, all of those things happened. The yelling and the screaming was so normalized in my house that it literally is my favorite way to communicate sometimes. When people are yelling and screaming at me is when I feel calm. When people actually talk to me and have conversations, not as much anymore. I do remember when I first started, you know, getting off of alcohol and getting into this podcasting thing, it was very difficult for me to accept compliments and have good interactions because my interactions were always so negative. Now that has all shifted. And I love my positive interactions with people, and I don't mind being complimented on things that I do. And I've learned to accept myself as a person that can be better. The problem is I still have that person inside of me, and he loves to come back out. And it's really easy for him to do that because why? Because I've only been like this for 9 years, and I've been like that my entire life. So old habits die hard. But it did help me understand a little bit more of why I lean on it and why it's so difficult for me not to always fall back upon it. And it's just simply because it's embedded in me. It was normalized as a child, and as an adult, it just became what it is. So the more I look at things, the more I hear people talk about stuff, and I realize that there is a way to look at what I'm doing in a different way, then therefore there's still a way for me to fix it. And as long as there's still a way for me to fix it, there's still a way for me to get better. And there's still room for me to get better every single day. We're not always going to be working on ourselves 100%, but if we can put in a little bit of work every single day, every single week, every single month and year, then that really adds up over time. I'm never going to be able to fix everything that I dislike about myself overnight. But what I can do is realize all the pain and the stuff that I'm causing around me and that I'm causing to others to hopefully curb my actions so that I don't do that anymore. Because the last thing I want to do is make everybody else upset because I'm realistically only upset with myself. So that's what I'm really trying to work on today. And I mean, everything is a lot of work, everybody. It's always going to be a lot of work, but the reward is so worth it. So when you put in all that work, there is going to be a reward at the end. And you know what that reward is, everybody? It's not more money. It's not a shiny new object. It's not a car. It's a better you. And I'm hoping that everybody wants a better them more than you want the shiny object and the new car and the boatload of money. Because I do believe if we treat ourselves better and we do better, then we put ourselves around people who are better for us and help us go in the right direction. And when all of that comes together, you don't need to go looking for the money or the job or any of that, because when you put out into the world kindness has this way of finding its way back to you. And I will tell you, that has been more rewarding in the last 9 years than anything I actually thought was a reward before then. And on that note, everybody, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of my subscribers. You are the reason I keep coming back week after week. So thank you so much. If you're new, remember to subscribe. If you want an opportunity to tell your story or be on the podcast, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Send an audio, video, or type it out. Linktree is in the description below the video. Go ahead and click that for everything TwT. Don't forget, get a mailbox through the mailbox guys. And then Cryptid and Kin, go and check it out. You got clothing, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So I hope everybody out there enjoys the rest of your Thanksgiving. Have a nice, safe travels, evening, all the things. And of course, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, I will talk to you next week.